The faint hum of the delivery truck echoed through the suburban streets as Eleanor gazed out of her office window. Her thoughts lingered on the encounter with Aiden, the charismatic delivery driver for one of the major courier services. There was an undeniable spark, an unspoken connection that went beyond the usual exchange of packages. One day, as Aiden handed her a parcel, he broke the professional barrier with a sleek grin. "Your window is down," he said, catching her off guard. As she drove away, the intrigue lingered, and his boldness left her questioning the dynamics of her seemingly content marriage. That night, Miles noticed the subtle shift in Eleanor's demeanor. "Everything okay, Eleanor?" he asked, concern etched across his face. She hesitated, contemplating whether to share her thoughts. Eventually, she decided to open up. "I had an interesting encounter today," she began cautiously with Aiden, the delivery guy. "He made a bold comment, something about a one-way ticket to losing the love of my life. It got me thinking." Miles furrowed his brow. "What did he mean?" "He mentioned something about an open marriage," Eleanor admitted. "I know it sounds crazy, but it got me curious. What if we explored something like that?" The room fell silent as Miles processed her words. Finally, he spoke. "Open marriage. Are you serious, Eleanor?" Eleanor nodded, her eyes searching for understanding in Miles' gaze. "I just think we should consider all perspectives, you know. Maybe there's something we're missing." Miles sighed. "I never thought we'd be having this conversation. But if it's what you want, I don't know. Let's talk about it more, okay?" As the night progressed, Eleanor and Miles engaged in a conversation that would set the stage for a curious choice. The idea of an open marriage lingered in the air, challenging the very foundations of their relationship. Little did they know this choice would send ripples through their lives, unraveling the certainty they once took for granted. The following days were marked by tense discussions between Eleanor and Miles as they navigated the uncharted waters of an open marriage. The once clear-cut boundaries of their relationship now seemed hazy and uncertain. Eleanor, sitting across from Miles at their kitchen table, picked at the edge of her coffee mug, nerves palpable. "Miles, I just think we need to explore this, understand what it means for us. It's about freedom, trust, and maybe even a deeper connection." Miles ran his hand through his hair, a visible sign of frustration. "Eleanor, it's not that simple. Opening up our marriage is a big step. What if it ruins us?" "I've read about couples who say it makes them stronger," Eleanor responded, her eyes pleading for understanding. "Maybe we're missing out on something." As the days went by, they established a set of ground rules, attempting to maintain a semblance of control over this experiment. No emotional involvement, strict use of protection, and communication were among the stipulations they reluctantly agreed upon. One evening, as they sat on the couch, Miles broke the silence. "I still can't believe we're doing this. Are you sure about this, Eleanor?" Eleanor took a deep breath, her uncertainty lingering. "I think so. It's just an exploration, right? We can always go back if it doesn't work." Miles nodded, but a hint of doubt lingered in his eyes. "I love you, Eleanor. Let's just hope this doesn't change that." The agreement, though reluctant, set the stage for a journey into the unknown. Little did they anticipate the emotional storms that awaited them as the experiment unfolded and tested the resilience of their marriage. The initial days of the open marriage experiment brought a surge of emotions for Eleanor. As she indulged in her connection with Aiden, she found herself caught in a web of guilt and realization that what had started as curiosity was evolving into something more profound. One evening after returning from work, Eleanor found herself standing in front of the bathroom mirror, questioning the choices that had led her here. The reflection staring back seemed haunted by the weight of her actions. She dialed Aiden's number hesitantly, her finger hovering over the call button. When he answered, a mixture of excitement and guilt danced in her voice. "Aiden, we need to talk." Their conversation delved into the complexities of their connection. Aiden confessed, "Eleanor, this is more than just an experiment for me. I feel a real connection. Do you?" Eleanor, grappling with her emotions, hesitated before admitting, "Yes, but it's complicated. We agreed on rules for a reason." As days turned into weeks, the emotional affair intensified. Eleanor found herself entangled in a situation she had underestimated. One night, lying in bed beside Miles, she felt the weight of her actions pressing down on her. "I can't shake off this guilt," she confessed to Miles, who turned to face her. "I thought it would be simple, but it's not. I'm torn between two worlds, and it's tearing me apart." Miles sighed, frustration evident in his voice. "This was your idea, Eleanor. We agreed on rules to avoid this. What's happening?" Eleanor's eyes welled up with tears. "I didn't think it would go this far. It's more than just physical. I feel like I've betrayed you. Miles, his face a mix of hurt and anger, replied, Betrayed? We set boundaries for a reason. If you're having second thoughts, we need to talk about it. As guilt tightened its grip on Eleanor's conscience, she grappled with the realization that the experiment had spiraled beyond her control. The line between curiosity and betrayal blurred, leaving her to confront the consequences of her actions and the potential demise of the very marriage she sought to strengthen. As the emotional affair with Aiden deepened, the unforeseen consequences began to manifest in the form of Miles' unexpected reactions. Eleanor, expecting a certain level of understanding from her husband, found herself grappling with the reality of a marriage unraveling. One evening, Miles returned home later than usual, his demeanor distant. Eleanor, attempting to gauge his mood, tentatively broached the subject. Miles, is everything okay? You've been distant lately. He shrugged off her concern, avoiding eye contact. Just tired, Eleanor. Long day. But the distance between them grew. Miles started going out after work, spending late nights dancing at bars. Eleanor, feeling a pang of jealousy and uncertainty, confronted him one evening. Miles, this isn't what we agreed on. Why are you out so late? His response was cryptic. I'm enjoying my freedom, Eleanor, just like you wanted. The realization hit her like a wave. The experiment that was supposed to bring them closer had driven an irreparable wedge between them. The emotional detachment from Miles became evident as he avoided conversations about their relationship. One night after returning home from a late-night rendezvous with Aiden, Eleanor found Miles in the living room, a cold expression on his face. Where have you been? He asked tersely. I was out with friends, Eleanor replied, a defensive tone creeping into her voice. Miles, his patience worn thin, retorted, Funny because I've been out too, dancing, with someone else. The revelation stung Eleanor, and the reality of her choices hit home. Miles, this wasn't supposed to happen. We were supposed to explore together, not apart. He scoffed, bitterness evident. You wanted freedom, Eleanor. Well, now you've got it. As the unforeseen reactions played out, the emotional turmoil escalated. The marriage, far from being strengthened, teetered on the edge of collapse. Eleanor, now grappling with the consequences of her choices, faced the harsh truth that the experiment had not only failed, but had taken an irreversible toll on their once solid relationship. The repercussions of the open marriage experiment reverberated through Eleanor and Miles' relationship, shattering the bonds that once held them together. Marital discord reached its peak as Miles' unexpected actions sent shockwaves through their lives. One evening, as they sat on opposite ends of the living room, the palpable tension between them was suffocating. Eleanor attempted to break the silence. Miles, we need to talk about what's happening. This isn't what we agreed on. His gaze was distant, avoiding direct eye contact. Eleanor, we agreed to explore, right? Well, I'm exploring, just like you wanted. The bitterness in his voice cut through Eleanor's defenses. Exploring doesn't mean tearing us apart. I thought this would bring us closer. Miles sighed, frustration etched on his face. Closer? Eleanor, we're further apart than ever. I can't even recognize us anymore. Eleanor, feeling the weight of her choices, pleaded, We can fix this. Let's go back to how it was before. He shook his head, a bitter smile playing on his lips. Back to what, Eleanor? A marriage that needed exploration to survive. Maybe we were just never meant to be. As the days unfolded, Miles continued his late-night escapades, leaving Eleanor alone with her regrets. She tried to salvage their relationship, suggesting couples counseling and pouring her heart out in letters, but Miles remained distant. One night after he returned home, Eleanor confronted him. Miles, please talk to me. This can't be the end for us. He looked at her with a cold detachment. Eleanor, it's over. This experiment destroyed us. I can't trust you anymore. The finality of his words hit her like a sledgehammer. But I love you, Miles. Can't we work through this? He shook his head, walking away. Love isn't enough, Eleanor. Not after what we've done. As the fracture in their marriage widened, Eleanor grappled with the harsh reality that the experiment intended to strengthen their bond had instead become the catalyst for its demise. The once happy couple now stood on the brink of separation, and the road to recovery seemed elusive. The fallout from Eleanor and Miles' disintegrating marriage spilled over into the realm of family, forcing Eleanor to navigate the challenge of concealing the truth during a family gathering. As Eleanor prepared for a family dinner, her phone buzzed with messages from her parents about their excitement for the evening. Anxiety clenched at her chest as she tried to maintain composure. During the gathering, her parents noticed the strain in her smile and the tension in her interactions with Miles. Her mother, perceptive and concerned, pulled Eleanor aside. "Is everything all right, sweetheart? You seem off tonight." Eleanor forced a smile. "Just work stress, Mom. Nothing to worry about." But as the evening progressed, Miles' distant demeanor didn't go unnoticed. Eleanor's father, sensing the underlying tension, approached them. "What's going on with you two? This isn't like you." Miles, his eyes avoiding theirs, replied, "Just going through a rough patch. We'll figure it out." Later, as they sat in the quiet of their home, Eleanor and Miles faced the challenge of concealing the truth. Eleanor, feeling the weight of her deceit, turned to Miles. "We can't keep pretending everything is okay. It's not fair to our families." Miles, his frustration evident, snapped back, "Well, it's your experiment that got us into this mess. Now we have to deal with it." Eleanor sighed, "I know I messed up, Miles, but we can't let our families suffer because of our mistakes." As they grappled with the facade, Eleanor's parents grew increasingly suspicious. The strained atmosphere during family gatherings became a silent testament to the unraveling marriage. One evening, after a particularly tense dinner, Eleanor's father confronted her. "Something's not right. You can't keep hiding it. Whatever it is, we're here for you." Tears welled up in Eleanor's eyes as she struggled to maintain composure. "Dad, I just need time. Please don't press me on this." The burden of the concealed truth strained Eleanor's relationship not only with Miles but with her family. As she continued to hide the fractures in her marriage, the facade threatened to crumble, adding yet another layer of complexity to the unraveling chapters of her life. As the concealed truth lingered, the family fallout escalated, pushing Eleanor to a breaking point. The strain in her relationship with Miles and the mounting pressure from her family set the stage for a confrontation that would determine the fate of their marriage. One weekend, Eleanor's parents insisted on a family gathering. The atmosphere was charged with unspoken tension as Eleanor and Miles attempted to maintain a semblance of normalcy. However, the strain was palpable and Eleanor's father decided it was time to address the elephant in the room. He looked directly at Eleanor and Miles. "Enough is enough. What's happening between you two? We can't sit by and watch our daughter's marriage fall apart without an explanation." Miles, feeling cornered, shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "It's complicated, sir. We're going through a tough time, but we're working on it." Eleanor's mother, her patience wearing thin, interjected, "Working on it? We can see the distance between you. This isn't just a rough patch. Tell us the truth." Eleanor, tears welling in her eyes, took a deep breath. "Mom, Dad, we've made some mistakes. Things have happened that we can't undo." Her father's expression hardened. "What kind of mistakes? Are you telling me you're getting a divorce?" Eleanor nodded, the weight of the truth pressing down on her. "Yes, Dad, it's over between us." Her mother's eyes filled with disappointment and sorrow. "We thought you two had something special. What happened?" Miles, his voice heavy with regret, confessed, "We tried something, an experiment to strengthen our marriage. It backfired and now we can't go back." Eleanor's father, struggling to comprehend, asked, "What kind of experiment? What did you do?" The room fell silent as Eleanor and Miles exchanged a hesitant glance. The truth unfolded, revealing the complexities of the open marriage experiment that had torn their relationship apart. As the reality of their failed marriage sank in, Eleanor's family, once supportive, now faced the shattered remnants of the couple they believed in. The final break, once concealed behind a facade of normalcy, became undeniable, leaving everyone involved to grapple with the irreversible consequences of an experiment gone awry. In the aftermath of the final break, Eleanor and Miles faced the challenging task of acceptance and rebuilding their lives. The once unbreakable bond was severed, leaving behind a trail of heartache and lessons. As the divorce proceedings unfolded, Eleanor found solace in the support of close friends and family. One evening, sitting across from her best friend, she admitted, "I never thought it would come to this, but maybe it's for the best. We both need a fresh start." Her friend nodded in understanding. "Sometimes the hardest lessons lead to the most significant growth. You're resilient, Eleanor. You'll come out of this stronger." Miles, too, sought guidance from a therapist, trying to make sense of the choices that led to the dissolution of his marriage. In one of the sessions, he confessed, "I never imagined our journey would end like this. I loved her, but we lost each other along the way." The therapist offered a comforting perspective. Acceptance is the first step towards healing. It's an opportunity to rediscover yourself and build a life that aligns with your true desires. As the divorce became final, Eleanor and Miles faced the reality of their separate lives. Eleanor, determined to move forward, took a leap into a new career and immersed herself in self-discovery. The support from her family and friends became a crucial anchor during this transformative period. One day, while sipping coffee with her friend, Eleanor reflected, "I never thought I'd have to start over, but maybe this is a chance to create a life that truly reflects who I am." Meanwhile, Miles, embracing the solitude, embarked on a journey of self-reflection. In a candid conversation with his therapist, he mused, "I lost sight of myself in the pursuit of what we thought was an answer. Now I have to find who I am without her." The acceptance of their new realities marked the beginning of a healing process. Eleanor and Miles, though apart, shared a common goal: to rebuild their lives with a newfound understanding of themselves and the intricacies of relationships. As the chapters closed on the wreckage of their marriage, the story of Eleanor and Miles served as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of acceptance, offering hope for new beginnings on the horizon. Thank you for listening to the story to the end, and if you like it, please support us with a like as well as subscribe to our channel. Write in the comments what you think about the story.